I guess we go this way. What is this? These people's clothes? I don't know. Ride Swan. Yeah. Let's look for... maybe Callum's hiding out in the water. You know, he's just gone for a swim. Uh-oh. This cannot be good. Is it going to be like the Jaws ride and there's going to be a swan jump out at us? What was it called? Tunnel of Tunes or Tunnel of Time? I can't remember. Peeps be skinny dipping. Yeah, I know, right? Okay. It's just a ride.
Near a great forest, there lived a poor woodcutter, his wife and his 2 children. A boy named Hansel and a girl named Gretel.
Ah, it's Hansel and Gretel. Oh, that's it. It's the Tunnel of Tales, isn't it?
Very little to bite or sup.
Sup. It said sup, not suck.
What will become
Bowling
of
pin.
us?
It's a swan.
The woodcutter asked his wife.
Oh, there we
one
go.
night. I tell you what, husband, we will take the children into the thickest part of the forest tomorrow and abandon them there. No, my wife, I cannot do that, said the man.
The vision's going funny.
Or starve, you fool. Hansel and Gretel overheard their parents talking, and Gretel began to weep. Do not fret, Gretel, Hansel said. He crept out of the hut and gathered white stones from the ground to fill his pockets. The next morning, the woodcutter leaves
This is actually a pretty cool idea. Like this sort of ride.
Their mother gives them a slice of bread and warns them that they will get no more food that day. Clever Hansel leaves a trail of white stones behind them as they pass into the woods. When their father leaves them, the children wait a while, then follow the trail back to their parents' house.
Oh, a vision's going funny again. Achievement unlocked, Chad.
Scolding from their parents for getting lost in the woods, the children are sent to bed without any supper. Hansel tried to sneak out and collect more white stones, but found that the door was locked. Tomorrow I will take them into the woods myself, the wife told the woodcutter.
And do the job proper. Look, there's the entrance there. So we're quite deep into the cave. Hope we don't get stuck.
And led them deep into the forest.
Oh look, there are all the projectors over there. Oh. What the fuck's that?
Hansel broke his bread into pieces and left a trail of breadcrumbs to lead them safely home. But hungry-eyed birds snatched up the breadcrumbs and his trail was destroyed. Abandoned by their parents and unable to find the trail home, the children wandered in the forest for 3 days. The children stumbled into a clearing with an exceedingly strange house. Its walls were made of gingerbread, and its windows were panes of clear sugar. Hansel,
I think this is the deepest part of the cave.
ran forward and began to nibble on the walls.
Okay, that's the gingerbread house part.
Nibble, nibble, little
Nibble, nibble, little mouse.
Who is nibbling at my house? An old woman emerged from the house, sniffing the air and peering around with cloudy eyes. Oh, you dear children, who brought you here? Just come in and stay with me. No harm will come to you.
Yeah, right.
Hansel and Gretel stayed back, for the old woman reminded them of their cruel mother. Come, children, don't be afraid. I have something for you. The old woman offered them 2 enormous lollipops. The children took them and began to eat.
Okay.
You see, nothing to fear
So
here.
we're just listening to Hansel and Gretel here.
The old woman urged, and the children, still licking their sweets, followed.
No shit. Fuck.
Inside the house, the old woman shaved.
What the fuck was that? Ooh.
She stuffed Hansel into a cage and put Gretel to work, sweeping and cleaning her hut.
Trying to enjoy this story here, ghosts. Leave me alone.
Good mouthful, the old witch told Gretel. Once he is fattened up, I shall feast upon him. Time passed, and poor Hansel refused to eat, fearing the day that the witch...
Right, we're on our way out, look, that's the exit.
For her part, grew impatient.
There's at least one more part of the story after this.
It's your brother, Gretel. Climb inside and light the oven.
They died because of diabetes,
But
yeah.
Gretel pretended not to understand. I do not know how. Where is the opening? Fool, the old witch said. The opening
Still
is
another one
here."
after this.
And she moved to show Gretel. Seizing her courage, brave Gretel gave the witch a shove, and the old crone tumbled forward into the oven. Gretel slid a large iron bolt over the door to the oven. Gretel freed her brother Hansel, and together they lit a fire beneath the oven. And though she screamed and begged, the children sat by the oven.
They're fucking savages.
Stilled, and the witch was cooked.
The original savages.
And then, because even children can't survive on sweets, they divided up the body of the old witch and ate her.
Uh-oh. That was a bit mean. Oh, that was nice ending to the story. Oh, that was a nice ride. A little bit bumpy, but you know, it's... Oh. The fuck. That's right. Keep looking that way. The fuck was that? Swans are gonna bite my bum as I try and get off. Just watch. Right, let me off now, please. Let me off now, please. Let me off now, please. Can we get on again? I want to do it again. Fucking swan.
Stay where you are.
So what was the point in that? Oh. Peck, peck. Peck, peck,
Hansel and
motherfucker.
Gretel. I used to read it to Callum when the electricity was shut off.
Oh, I see.
Those poor children. The whole world against them. The forest, the birds, the old witch, even their own parents. I used to imagine that Callum and I were the kids in that story. Not mother and son, but brother and sister, hand in hand against the unkind world. We were always hungry, looking for our own house made of candy, looking for the sweetness that could take the pain away. Hunger leads people to desperate, terrible places where the tree branches reach like claws.
Hashtag for the kids. Alright. No problem. I'm alright, Bib. I don't like horror games, but this doesn't seem so bad at the moment. Hopefully it doesn't get any worse. We're trying to find a flashlight. We didn't find one in the water, unsurprisingly, but why is there an abandoned van just here?
Wait, Callum!
Obviously we
Another
have to go there.
accident. This place.
Oh shit. Is that blood? Oh look, there's Mr. Teddy. Read the note. Despite the constant interruptions to works, Atlantic Island Park will be opening on time. The governor is booked to cut the ribbon So the only real question is whether we will have any customers. I'm not truly worried. The customers will come out of simple curiosity. I deduced what was needed from the... What? From the band writings of Henderson. It's astonishing to think that a resonance of positive emotions can be used to fuel such a process. Henderson himself chose to use negative, and that caused some of the taint that still lingers in this park. I will not make his mistakes. Very soon I will know if that has been all for nothing. Ooh. Mr. Teddy has a knife through his eye. Is that Mr. Teddy again? Is that the same Teddy? Must be your sister. Ha! Pew pew! You could do something horrible if you wanted to. You can't do anything horrible to me. Can we not retrieve the teddy? I just want the teddy for my son. Park 5. Okay.
Mommy needs to see you, Callum.
Catch me, Mommy.
Catch you? Oh, we can run. Oh, you toggle between running and stuff. Ooh. There's somebody up there. What is that saying? Don't know. I hear music. The octopus is on. Oh, and the Ferris wheel is on as well. Well, to be honest, the lights are on. So I was thinking, isn't the electricity like run out or off now? But I suppose, yeah, the lights are on, aren't they? So. And the wind definitely can't move this. Are we just like going to go around and ride all the rides? Octopussy. Are people doing more skinny dipping, or is this just rubbish? Looks like plastic bags, to be honest.
This old thing used to make the blood run to my head. Make me dizzy.
Really? Oh, it's like flying cars. It's like, what the hell is that thing in the middle? Is it like a dragon? But it's like flying cars like Harry Potter. Oh, examine report.
The guy just snapped. Those poor kids.
Eyewitness report. Officer on duty, Sheriff Bannerman. Witness name, blah, blah, blah. We were waiting for our turn on the ride. Frank, me, and the boys. This fellow on the chipmunk suit is making a nice carving while people took photographs. Lawrence wanted to go over to him, but I've always been a bit wary of those suits. They give me the creeps. It's silly, I know. Anyway, the chipmunk man, he was carving it and picking away at the ice, and at first we thought he was making some animal, like a tiger or lion. But as more and more ice fell away, when you first looked, it was like a human face smiling out of that block of ice. But the more you looked at it, the more you saw that there was something not quite right about the proportions. Something unnatural that made your heart begin to beat just a little bit faster. Like you were prey and that thing in the ice was a hunter. But then these teenagers walked up and one of them made a face at the carving and said something rude to the guy in the chipmunk suit. And then, well, he went berserk. For a few moments it was chaos. Everybody was running away from the guy who had one of the teenagers on the ground and was stabbing. Why'd she say stabbing? And was stabbing with the ice pick. And blood was spraying and people were screaming, and Frank and I had the kids and we were dragging them away as fast as we could. And the last thing I saw before Frank dragged me away was that the eyeball of one of those poor kids had landed on the ice sculpture, making the horrible creature look more or less alive. Shit. Axel and the fucking plastic bags. So the guy in the chipmunk suit went berserk, basically. Oh look, there's water in the middle.
Callum?
Right, so where do we need to go now? I have no idea. Let's go around this way.